broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
With Missy.
Hey, Roxy, do you know who Missy is?
Oh, I don't know. She's a new artist that was performing with Katy Perry.
Yeah, she's brand new.
She's totally going to break out. Okay, welcome back to AfterBuzz TV. Go Pats. And I wanted to say we are here with the originals for Season 2, Episode 12, Sanctuary. I'm your host, Roxy Striar. And if you guys want to find me, you can find me at Roxy Striar. Very original, I know. And, of course, we've got Katie Campbell.
Hello, you can find me on Twitter at Katie Campbell. That's Katie with 3 E's, Campbell.
And we have the very special birthday girl who came in anyway, Trooper, Tiona Hobson. We love you. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Hi, guys. You can follow me on Twitter at the Tiona Hobson, and I'm also in the chat roll right now, so we'll see how this goes.
So if you guys don't know what that means that she's in the chat roll, it's because you aren't on YouTube watching us live. So if you go on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. or 6:05 p.m. Pacific time, then you can join our conversation live, and our resident chat mistress, is that what we decided?
Yes,
chat mistress will be there reading your comments and helping to incorporate you guys in the conversation, which we love. And as always, you can find us on iTunes, you can find us on iCloud. If you're looking for us, you can find us. We want to hear you guys. We want comments. We want that 5-star rating. Everything you guys can do to help us the show. We really appreciate it. We're here for you guys. You're the best fans ever, so keep up the conversation. All right, guys, getting into this episode, it was a big one. I felt like a lot happened, and I know that last week we had some mixed feelings, but I feel like it was all high feelings this time. What did you guys think?
I loved it. I liked the intensity that it had. A lot of things, I don't know, happened. We knew who she was, the blonde girl, but we heard it from her.
Yeah.
And I like that.
We got to hear her spit it out. I mean, we thought we knew who she was.
Yeah.
We were pretty positive. With this show, I guess you never really know anything until you know it.
Yeah. I feel like we got a lot of answers in this episode that had been set up for a while. And so it was very nice to finally, I mean, we still leave with some questions, but it was finally nice to end an episode, not like, what? Yeah. What does this mean? What does that mean? It's like, okay, concrete. We know that Rebecca's back. We know these things are true.
I still have some questions, but
yes.
I do agree with you. Let's get right into the Rebecca storyline, because I thought that this is probably what I was missing last week. Yes. And it might be my favorite. It's hard to tell. A lot of the storylines are great, but it might be my favorite storyline right now, because it is so cool to see these sisters reunite. Mm-hmm. I mean, I am just like a huge sister fan. I love watching that kind of relationship, and we never get to watch Rebecca have that, because she's always surrounded by these brothers that don't necessarily treat her very well. So I'm really excited to see how this relationship grows and develops, and I love that Freya kept quiet about it at the beginning and just wanted to see who Rebecca is. What did you guys think about that?
That's interesting. She was just trying to see if she would help her out when
right.
she was in trouble, because she kind of did get her in that mess technically with the apple.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to put it like that, I don't think that she was trying to do that, though. Not that you said that.
Yeah.
I appreciated that Freya didn't point fingers. That would have been a pain.
Right, but it's interesting because she wanted to see what Rebecca would do.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And, you know, I feel like they both reacted the same way. Rebecca didn't throw Freya under the bus at any point, and Freya didn't throw Rebecca under the bus. They've got the same blood. Now the question just is, where the heck has Freya been? I mean, we don't know what happened between Esther's sister having her and her being in this coffin. So she's been in the coffin for 100 years.
Well, we know what happened. We know that she showed up at one point 100 years ago.
Right.
So we don't know what happened between her getting taken and then 100 years ago, and then from 100 years ago to now.
Right. So we do have one glimpse.
We have one glimpse of her and what she's been up to. And she said,
she's partying.
Yeah, she said, I just really wanted to see my siblings and what they were up to. So that means that she had been aware of them. She had been kind of keeping tabs on her siblings their whole lives, it sounds like.
Well, she was locked away for this 100 years, but why now? Just because Rebecca was in there that she was able to break out? Or
I don't know how she was able to break out, or if she was waiting for this special moment, or maybe it was the 100-year anniversary somehow. I really don't know. I think it might have been the powers of Tiana's birthday. And she was like,
Yes.
wow, I have to celebrate the anniversary of Tiana's birth. This is very important to me.
You know, it's definitely that mixed with a little bit of something else is going on, because she's also still very young.
Okay.
You know, and she's been away for hundreds of years. It wasn't 100 years ago she was taken away.
What do you mean by she's young, though?
Because her physical human body is still young, so it's been preserved longer than just the 100 years she was asleep, because Klaus and them had been around for, that was 1914. They had been vampires for a while at that point, so she should be a lot older, but she's not.
Well, I would think she would be a lot younger, because wasn't she taken when she was 7? Isn't that the deal? You take them when you're 7 years old. So why wouldn't she be, if she was a vampire that turned when she was 7, then wouldn't she be, or was she turned when she was a...
She wasn't turned.
She wasn't turned into a vampire. Oh, right.
Yeah.
So at what point did she turn into a vampire then?
I think she's just a witch, and maybe she's been jumping from body to body, so she's in this body right now.
So she's just a witch. She's not even a vampire, right?
Witch.
Right. That makes sense. But you're right. Then she is very young and very pretty.
Yeah.
I'm liking this actress a lot, and I'm also really liking the actress that is playing Rebecca. Not that I don't want to see Claire Holt back, but I think that they're doing a really good job. And I think that you were talking about this a little bit, Katie, a couple weeks ago, that the one who's playing Rebecca is fairly new and doesn't have many credits. So I think this is an awesome first big role for her.
Yeah.
And I love their chemistry so far, and I love that they help each other. I didn't love what happened to her hand so much. That was horrifying.
That was hard to watch.
Really hard to watch. I turned to Katie and go, they just cut off the hand?
I thought they chopped off all her fingers.
I thought they chopped off her fingers. Are you kidding me? Like, that was really, really scary.
Yeah,
but I feel like it hurt just as much what they did, just smashing it.
It definitely hurts as much, but at least you get to keep your hand.
Yeah, true.
But it also just goes back to show Rebecca is human now, and she has to come to terms with the fact that she's not a vampire who can't be hurt. And they keep doing these little things, and she keeps getting into these fights, and then like, ouch, that hurts. Oh, I have a human body. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna ache, which should maybe make her rethink if she wants to be a human forever.
Yes.
Because that was her thing. She wanted her to go back to being human. She wanted a family and all this stuff. But with that comes, pain and suffering, especially childbirth, girl. I've never been through it personally.
I was going to say, is that true, T? Is there something you want to tell us?
No, what I see on TV, look at Haley's birth. Hello?
Yeah.
She died.
We watched those sex ed videos. That was intense, man. I don't know. And also, I think that with this, we're seeing a lot more violence and just gruesome things. And I'm wondering from you guys, and also from you guys at home, are we liking that this is going in an American Horror Story-esque direction? It's like very scary to watch.
I like it though. That's an exciting part, was when we had to go back to the house and what's going on in there with all these people trapped and they're all going crazy.
And the getting sucked into the door.
Yeah.
The woman that we call Kindred.
Yeah, Kindred. Yeah, I really enjoyed that though. Like the first scene was literally showing the house.
Right.
And that was so exciting for me. I was like, I'm going to love this episode.
Yeah, I know. I completely agree. But I'm wondering, do you think that it's alienating any of its audience members? Because people who signed up for Vampire Diaries didn't necessarily sign up for a horror show, and then they switched over to originals, and this is definitely more violent.
But I think that originally in Vampire Diaries, it was scarier. There's a lot more of like popping out scary stuff happening. I could not watch the first season of Vampire Diaries alone at night in my house without being creeped out. So I think
You're
they
kind of
wimpy.
Let's be honest.
I don't do horror at all. So
I can't be mean to you on the birthday. I'm just kidding. You're the strongest and just so brave.
if you're telling the truth, I am a wimp when it comes to scary stuff.
I guess it's true. What do you guys think at home? Are you guys loving that it's horror now, or are you wishing that it was a little less violent? Make sure, by the way, when you are on Twitter and talking to us or talking to us at AfterBuzz TV, you are hashtagging ABTV Originals. That is our new amazing hashtag, and that way we can see what what everybody is talking about and trending on our after show. And of course, as I said, you can go and talk to us live right now on YouTube/AFTERBUZZ TV. So I don't know. I think that it's cool. I think it's a cool spin. I definitely love horror movies. I'm a little braver. You can hold my hand, Tiona, next time.
Oh, thank you.
If you want. And I think it is interesting, but we just got a lot of new characters introduced to us. Like, we got this weird Cassie version that we thought she was great, but then she ends up horrible, and now she's gone because she's bleeding from her eyes. And we got Kindred, and we got a couple of them. Are we ever going to see any of them again? Or is it just going to be Rebecca and Freya now?
I don't think we're going to see him.
I think Cassie's gone.
Yeah.
I know.
Because Freya was not happy with how Cassie handled the whole situation.
Neither was I.
I wasn't either, but it also felt to me like it wasn't really Cassie.
It felt like Esther. Like still part of Esther in her body.
I mean, I know we don't know Cassie that well as a character because we've only seen her, before this as Esther, but it still felt like she was possessed by something because the way she even said, I had to do something. Yeah. You were going to do something wrong. I was like, who are you?
Yeah. And then she blamed her for killing Kindred, even though she did it. But I was questioning, how did she suck her in the room like that? Because Cassie's the one who killed her, right?
Maybe the room has powers. Maybe the coffin has powers. Maybe the necklace had powers. Like, I don't know what's holding all the powers right now and how they were dormant and how somehow they're awake. We're still missing that. That's why I said I still have some questions because... where is this all coming from?
Maybe it is the necklace.
Maybe it's the necklace. I don't know. Maybe it's the coffin. Maybe the necklace being in the coffin. I think of it like solar panels, and a watch that only runs like that is like taking all the juice up or something.
Yeah. And I will say in the chat roll right now, it seems like most people are enjoying how horror-esque this season is getting. They said they like it a lot. And they said that Cassie is dead. So
I think the reason we think she was possessed is because if you guys remember earlier in the season, we interviewed Natalie, who played Cassie, and she was so involved and invested in her character, and she made us believe that she was a really good person. She's like, I feel like what I'm doing is right. Even when she was Esther, we're like, ooh, now we like Esther. So now I'm like, oh, she has to be good, but really,
maybe
swerve.
It was just she was so into what she was thinking she was doing was right because she was not seeing Rebecca actually finding a way out. She's like, this is just going to fail. I'm going to get in trouble.
I'm going to get screwed.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And we actually... Oh, sorry.
No, go.
Well, we actually have a question on Twitter from the hashtag ABTV Originals. Alicia Perez wants to know, do you think now that Freya is out, do you think she will team up with Finn or not?
Well, is it either have to be Team Finn or Team Elijah, Klaus, Rebecca? Because I don't think she's going to go against Rebecca at this point. Yeah. I think Rebecca's on Team Elijah, Klaus. And Cole, obviously, we'll talk about later, but who knows where he is.
Do you think that Freya will make Rebecca kind of change the way she's thinking about family? Because, Freya seems to think like, oh, you're a good person underneath everything. Our brothers are a lot worse than you are. Well, you aren't the same as them.
And she's also not a vampire right now, Rebecca. She's a witch, so maybe she will be on that witchy side?
Yeah, it all comes down to, I always forget Esther's sister's name, the one that takes Dahlia. It all comes down to the fact that we in our heads think of Dahlia as this evil thing now because she takes these children as sacrifices. But what if Dahlia actually is way better than Esther and is an awesome teacher and taught Freya to be a really we've met her before, but maybe she's just mean to her sister, and taught Freya to be a really great girl.
Well, we do know she practices the dark magic, which I don't think necessarily is a great thing.
But then how is Freya seem right now to be so good?
I think there's a bunch of layers that are going to be shown of Freya that are, I don't necessarily want to say bad, but she's more complex than just this really good, helpful person.
Or maybe she broke away.
Maybe.
Or maybe Dahlia was like, hey, I'm going to teach you these things, and you can do as you can make your own decisions on how you want to be in the world.
Right. We have centuries to make up for right now. Even the other original characters, I still feel like there's so many gaps in time and history, but we've been seeing them for years and years. Mm-hmm. We don't know anything about Freya. We know nothing. So it's really exciting because it's almost like we have a new original.
Yeah.
But this is why I think this show is so good and these writers are so strong. We've known about Freya for years. We knew Freya existed. So now finally the fact that she's here and back, it's like, I don't even know. It's so cool that we get to figure out more and more layers about her. All right, let's move on a little bit. So they somehow get out of the house. It was still confusing to me. I'm like, they just walked out? Is that easy? You guys weren't confused about that at all. Just way smarter than I am.
I mean, it's Freya. She's just powerful and a badass.
The only confusing thing is, like I said earlier, that why now? Couldn't she have done that earlier?
Also, I guess she was trying to see what kind of person Rebecca was, but when Rebecca's about to get her hand bashed in, couldn't you do it then? She already saved you from the apple thing.
But she hadn't really proven herself yet.
Okay,
it's
so
one thing.
Because you don't prove yourself, I'm going to bash her hand in?
Klaus could give someone an apple and tell them, just take it.
Klaus would never have given somebody random an apple, ever.
But he could have. It's like easy to just be like, oh, here, take that. But to actually stand up for someone who's in the middle of getting their butt kicked and who you don't even know.
And she says at some point, you're not as bad as our brothers or whatever that line is, but wouldn't she have known that if she's been keeping tabs on them throughout the years? Because she would have seen Rebecca wasn't as bad.
I don't know if she was keeping tabs on them being locked in that coffin.
I don't think she wasn't locked in the coffin before she made the introduction at that dance 100 years ago.
Oh, yeah. So she had...
So I think before then, we don't think at least, but I think maybe because she said, I really wanted to see my siblings. So that makes me believe that she was somehow in the loop of what they were doing. And maybe, that night she did see Rebecca betray Cole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So maybe she just wanted to make sure that Rebecca is genuinely a good person or genuinely loyal to something.
Somebody's got to meme her saying I woke up like this, because girl looking pretty good for being in a coffin for 100 years.
Yeah.
A little creepy when she's watching the TV. Although I will say, if I hadn't been awake in 100 years and I saw a television, I'd probably be glued to it like that too. TV obsessed, ABTV. I love it.
But I love what she said. These paintings are moving. I was like, oh my God, that's Freya. Because she didn't know television.
It was that and her being like, I love New Orleans. The last time I saw it, and I was like, when the last time you saw it? Yesterday? If you were, So that was really cool. All right, we have that whole Madhouse storyline, although it won't last much longer because now they're out in the universe. Mm-hmm. On the other side, we've got this horrible torture thing going on with Finn and Marcel. So Finn's got all these people with his voodoo magic, but he's got Marcel awake so that he can try to get information out of him, because Marcel is Klaus's, I think he says, the closest thing Klaus ever had to a friend. Mm-hmm. Do you guys agree with that statement, that Marcel is the closest thing that Klaus ever had to a friend?
Yes.
Yeah. He's made a few strides in making friends now. We've seen him in this season.
Right.
But yeah, back then, I think so.
It's like, how quickly do we forget, though, that last season, Klaus was really trying to kill Marcel. Straight up.
Straight up. But then it's Klaus, so you never know if he could have actually gone through with it.
Right.
Because the more we actually get to the background of their story and how they do know each other, I genuinely don't think, knowing what I know now, that Klaus could have killed Marcel last season.
And having a kid has softened him.
Having a child, having hope.
Yeah.
Because Marcel was kind of his kid, as Tiona pointed out. I guess that didn't soften him enough. It softened him a little.
Klaus did raise that kid, and then, he thought he lost him. Marcel, yeah. He thought Marcel was dead for all those years, even though, you weren't that far away from New Orleans to have heard about, a black guy running the corridor and stuff.
Pretty sure with your vampy speed, you could have gotten there in 20 minutes just to check it out. But he was running from his father, and his father could have been there and whatnot. So, yeah, we can't, Tiona, we can't rehash old issues. We could fight about them and not coming back all day. So we're doing this torture. And what we were really devastated about, because we thought this was going to happen, and it's exactly what does happen, is Finn is really smart.
Oh, yeah.
And he starts to figure out, it's not that Marcel isn't telling me, it's that Marcel doesn't remember what happened. And, finally, by the end of the two of their storyline, we get Finn to realize, I don't know, he probably only sat down with him for a couple hours, holy crap,
I love it. I love how smart he is.
Mm-hmm. Oh you guys seem to I don't know about you loving him.
Well, I really like how much of a villain he is. I think he's a great villain.
Yeah.
And that, I think it brings a great thing to the show. That's why I enjoy him.
I just think it's so strange because he was such a mama's boy and so wimpy, and now he's like, yeah, he's like scarred.
It's like when psychopaths hit their breaking point, and then all of a sudden they flip that switch, and boom, they are crazy pants.
Psycho.
And the other thing he was smart enough to realize was that Cole was putting on an act. That is, if Cole was putting on an act the whole time. I gotta get your guys' opinion on this, because I am clearly biased and I can no longer trust my own opinion on Cole. I love him, you guys know that. I can't be trusted. Mm-hmm. Is Cole team, he says, I play for the team that wins. Is he team Finn right now? Was he going into this as team Davina? Or is he just team Cole?
He's Team Cole.
He's Team Cole.
Yeah, and I really did believe what he said when he was like, I play for the winning team. I was like, oh, great. This is like, I believed that he would actually switch sides and do that. Because he was acting a little rude, too, to Davina when she brought Aiden in and he was making some snarky comments and he's not going to go help. But then Davina did go help, so he felt like he should.
But why? Why would he go if he didn't actually want to do it for Davina? I'm thinking he's really starting to like her, and that's why he went.
I think that there's some truth to that. He does kind of like her, but he's still for himself, even though he went.
But why would he go then?
The only thing in that conversation that really stuck out for me was when he said, I practically have her wrapped around my finger, talking about Davina. And that was before we found out that Davina was there and, you know, that he was in there to distract.
Right.
But a lot of what he said were truths. Mm-hmm. And, you know, about him being the guy who will switch teams, because we've seen him switch teams. When his mom started losing, he switched over to Klaus's side. When Klaus started losing,
well, he was never really on the mom's side, though. You know, he was just trying to get back. He was dead, so the only way to be back was to be on the mom's team, but he was never, I didn't ever feel like he was really on Esther's team.
Because he's always on his own team, because he always has his own agenda.
But
with
now he'll be on Davina's team. I'm telling you, I can't be trusted with this.
I mean, I think that there is some truth about him and Davina having feelings for each other, but like Klaus, he doesn't know how to have feelings for a human being, and he...
Caroline, drink.
Drink. But I also I don't see how he's going to get out of this, because Cole is so after things for himself.
Yeah.
I mean, he even asked Davina, like, oh, you're not having second thoughts now, right? About the dagger for Klaus, when she kind of hesitated a little bit.
And and she was sleeping again, I just have to point out. I feel like he's putting her to sleep, or something's got to be happening there. But he said that she was talking in her sleep about killing Klaus. I think he was just saying that.
Well, it's not even that she's sleeping. It's that every time she wakes up, she seems surprised that she's sleeping. So I'm wondering if at some point in the season they're going to address that, or whether it's just like a little funny thing that they keep doing.
Maybe she's epileptic.
Or something.
That's the one where you fall asleep all the time, right?
I don't know. Or I was thinking, like, when you're really tired, you have Lyme disease. I was like, did a tick bite her or something? Like, she's just always asleep and never remembers how she got there.
Maybe he's just an early riser, so he's already up doing stuff, and it's only like 9 a.m.
No, but she takes naps, though, because it's not always in the morning. So I really think he must be doing something. I don't know why she's sleeping so much.
Hashtag ABTV Originals. Why is Davina asleep all the time? Like, girl, get up. We've got things to do today. Seriously. But I don't know. I'm feeling like he really did come because he wanted to come for Davina. All right.
I do think, like I said, that there must be some feelings there. But he was also like, oh, can you turn your phone off? It's been going the whole time. He doesn't care that much, even though Aiden was like, I need your help. Call me, because Josh and
he probably didn't look at the text.
He probably did, but he doesn't care. He's like, just turn it off. Like, if he really, truly cared about her, he'd be like, oh my God, wake up. Your phone's going crazy. Like, let me help you.
I don't know. Maybe he's
narcoleptic, guys. The guys in the chat corrected me. It's narcoleptic.
That's the one with the lights that you were talking about.
Oh, yeah, because my friend has that one. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So I guess maybe parts of him don't care as much, but I feel like he's getting there. I thought it was really cute, the Aiden Davina partnership, trying to get Josh, because we love Josh and our team Josh. It was really scary when Josh woke up and tried to kill his boyfriend. Probably not the move. I mean, meme that. I woke up like this. Like, really scary. That wasn't a good one. What? I thought it was a really good vampy face. All right, I'll try harder. Tiona, we already discussed that. I don't know how to make sexy vampire faces.
I know.
It's hard.
It's really hard.
It's hard.
Yeah, but yours not hard because you only have to do sexy wolf faces because we already told you that you're the wolf and you got that in the bag. yeah, Wolfie. Do you guys notice in tonight's episode, not only did we get a little wolf getting called by Klaus to Haley, but we also got a little witch from Cole to Davina, which was really cute. I was like, these brothers have something in common. Can somebody call me a little something?
They're not very original with their pet names for their.
The originals are not very original.
That was
I didn't do that on purpose. I didn't notice I did it till she said something.
Oh, I thought you were trying to be punny.
Wait, you really weren't?
I really wasn't. I really just don't think that they can. Two brothers think of the same pet name for their kind of significant others. It's kind of like way to be original. With it.
Oh, all right. Well, let's just pretend that you were making a
That
pun
I'm
there.
smarter than I actually am.
Yeah, I
Totally.
really thought you were- okay.
You're like a mini Finn, really smart. Evil, but very smart. I'm
scared.
And you are the witch, so you are like Finn. Now we have it all in the bag. Okay.
I don't want to be evil.
So that's the second storyline that we have going on. Now let's jump.
Wait.
Oh, we're not ready to jump.
I just really
Witchy
want to
woman,
say
what's up?
that Josh and Jaden were super cute tonight because even when Josh woke up and tried to go for Aiden, I love that he snapped his neck, threw him over his shoulder, and got out of there.
Did you just call that super cute?
No, but
he snapped his neck. It was so cute.
It was. You saw the terror in his face, like, oh my god, and he's like, I'm gonna fix this situation, and then he puts him over his shoulder and walks out.
He did what he had to do to save his love, and he went to Davina like, I can't find Josh anywhere, and it's freaking out, and it was so cute. I love those two.
I agree. I love that couple, and all I ever wanted was somebody to snap my neck and throw me over their shoulder. It's just so sweet. I agree with you, Tiona. Just so cute. Anyway, can we jump now to the third storyline?
Yes.
All right. So,
I want to say about how they found Finn when they were doing that locator spell. Why wasn't there a bubble around it where he was blocking the locator spell? He usually does. Finn usually does that.
I think he wanted to be found.
But he wanted to break through Marcel, and he didn't really need those distractions.
I think because he already had done it for enough time. Like, I don't know. He's too smart to have not done a cloaking spell. I feel like maybe he had a cloaking spell for the first hour and then was like, all right, this is too much energy. Drop the spell.
Okay.
There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on.
Yeah.
They can't fill us in on everything. No, remember when we had Chase come in, he said they film a lot of scenes on these shows that don't make it to the actual show because there's a ton of information, which was just interesting. So maybe they did
I want to see these clips.
I know. Some of them are online on YouTube and some of them are on CW's website, so definitely make sure to check those out. All right, I don't care what you guys say anymore. I'm jumping over to what I really want to talk about. And I know you guys at home really want to talk about. We got a lot of tweets going on about Claylee, guys. We can't put it off forever. It's unavoidable at this point. Claylee rules the world right now. Yeah. I don't even know how it happened, but I will say there was some very close face-to-face action going on with Claylee tonight.
This might be the first time that I actually felt that in between those two characters.
He was standing up for her like crazy the way she was standing up for Jackson. Now, I am not going to pretend right now that I am Team Claylee all the way because I'm not Team Claylee all the way. I do think maybe down the line I could be invested in it because I do think he really, really cares about her. But I love Haley and Jackson right now.
Jaylee! Oh my gosh, I love that!
You love Jaylee.
I love Jaylee.
Everything he says, is so unbelievably sweet to her. He says his feelings won't change, and then what he says to Klaus at the end and everything, I'm just like, get it, boy.
Yeah, but I love how sweet he is with her, but do you think there's some truth to what Klaus was pointing out about Jackson?
No, because of what he said as his dying words. Like, his dying words were take care of Haley and make sure this happens. His dying words weren't make sure that we still get the army of wolves. I don't know. I think that like the real truth comes out when you think your life is about to get taken from you. I just trust him. He's got those eyes. I'm telling you.
And I know there's a lot of discussion, especially in our comments on YouTube last week, about if we can trust Jackson and what is his ulterior
motive.
Yes, I can talk, I swear. Ulterior
Birthday girl taking some shots before the show?
Maybe.
Where's my invite?
I don't like you. No, I'm just joking. I love you. That's why.
love you.
I think that tonight proved that he is someone who can be trusted. Can be trusted, because just because he doesn't know Haley, hasn't known her that long, doesn't mean he can't have still fallen in love with her this fast. He came clean about what his grandfather did. Like, everything he's done has been to protect Haley since the moment she got to the quarter.
Yeah, I agree. But because we did find out so much information tonight, and because of that huge fight with Jackson and Klaus, it kind of, the ball was dropped a little bit on the fact that Jackson's grandfather murdered Haley's parents. Like, it was a moment, and then it was gone. And I thought that was strange. For me, it's such a huge thing. And she kind of just like, why didn't you tell me? He's like, well, I didn't know until my grandma told me. And she's like, yeah, okay, moving on.
Well, see, I think she had that right reaction, though, because, I mean, it really did upset her. I felt like you could see it in her face, but she can't blame Jackson for his grandfather's actions.
Of course not, but I'm not even talking about getting mad at him. I'm talking about a bigger realization moment. Like she's saying, I've been looking for this my whole life. Maybe asking, how did it happen? What exactly was the moment? What does your grandmother say about it? Was she on his same team? I just would have had so many questions, and I felt like they didn't talk about it. I guess they didn't really have time because Klaus came and interrupted everything, but I don't know. I just felt like that's such a huge moment, and we've been waiting for so long to hear what happened to Haley's parents, and now we know. But then we didn't even have time to process it because we had so many other things going on, which is crazy about this show. There's just so much. But I do also have to say, at the same time, I loved the fight between Jackson and Klaus.
It was good.
So intense. I don't know whether they even call it choreography, but what the fight choreography, I guess, was out of this world.
Yeah, it was good.
What they were doing against the tree and everything, I thought the acting, the fight choreography, everything about it was on point. And we haven't seen like a one-on-one fight like that since Klaus and Michael. It kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because they were talking about Klaus's real dad, which also happened so quickly.
Yeah.
That we had to move on. So,
Which, I mean, maybe a little true. I like that Jackson stood up for himself and was like, oh, what, you're mad because I got to hang out with your daddy and you didn't? Like, I love that he called Klaus out for that.
I'm still mad that he killed him.
I think we're missing something there. I think we're missing something there. I don't know. Something about maybe him being able to, like, the spell that Esther did, or him being able to jump somewhere. I would just have such a hard time believing that character came back for such a short period of time.
I mean, I knew, too, with this whole Jackson and Klaus fight that it wasn't going to end up in a death and Haley was going to swoop in just because it was prolonged. It was a long fight.
Right.
And with, Klaus is usually quick with these things.
Right, but he didn't want to be quick. Do you think part of him was testing to see if Haley would come? Or do you think that he just was taking a long time getting all stuff out of Jackson?
I think he was just taking a long time. I mean, he did say that he liked how much she was fighting for him.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't think he was thinking.
Fight.
Yeah, but I don't think he was thinking, I want to just see if she's going to come right now.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Again, with Jaylee, I will say that moment at the end where she decides to come clean with him. Oh my God, I just wanted a little kiss there. I thought that, I just felt it. I felt the vibes. Jaylee. When she decides to come clean about what happened, she says, there's a story that I'm going to tell you, and she's about to tell you about Hope. And I just felt like, wow, I think she's really starting to dig him.
I love that she started the story the same way Klaus has told the story in our voiceovers before.
And also, isn't that how we had Rebecca tell the story to
Rebecca,
Hope?
yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, I think when we started this season, we start with Rebecca talking to Hope. There once was this girl, and they were kind of BFF. And in real life, they're BFF.
Yeah, I thought it was super cute. But everyone on the chat roll wants us to talk about how Klaus snapped Haley's neck tonight. How did you feel in that moment about Klaus?
Well, I try to think as a Clearly fan for a second. it doesn't necessarily mean anything bad because Klaus has snapped many a necks before. He's snapped Marcel's, he's snapped Elijah's, he's snapped Rebecca's, he has snapped Finn's, he has snapped Cole's. So I don't think that because he did that, it means that he cares about her any less. I actually think that it means he cares about her more. Otherwise, he would have attacked Jackson in front of her. I think he's trying to spare her. What do you guys think?
I was shocked when it happened, but I also was thinking when he was being so nice when he was grabbing her head, I was like, okay, why is he just telling her, okay, I'm going to let go and you can do what you want to do? And then he snapped her neck, and I was like, I jumped a little bit when I first watched it, but then I was like, okay, that seems like a Klaus thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is the moment when I got confused. I like Claylee and I was feeling some vibes, but in this moment it went from being like, so like, oh, I'm maybe into you to snap. And I'm like, if someone snapped me, but when Aiden did it to Josh, it was cool because I know they're in love with each other and they're in a relationship already. But when Klaus did it, I was kind of like, Klaus, what are you doing? But I honestly think Klaus was testing a little bit of Jackson's, if he's trustworthy, if Haley is actually going to defend him, because Haley brought up good points. Hey, if the wolves are on our side, that's more people protecting Hope. That's more people, on our side in a battle.
Her home.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because he said to Haley, I trust you, but I just don't trust Jackson. So there was that little moment too.
But I feel like that's so awesome because he trusts no one, like he said. And I do think he trusts Haley, which is amazing to watch. It's the mother of his child, and he's never had a bond with somebody like that before because he's never had to. Yes, he has siblings, but he didn't choose those. Yes, whatever. He picked Haley. He picked to sleep with Haley, and Haley now has his kid. And it's like, I don't know. We've never seen him treat somebody like this and actually listen to somebody else's opinion. He really cared what she said, and the only reason he didn't kill Jackson was because of what she said, which is really, really interesting to watch his character development here.
This is the only time I will advocate saying this on the show, but we did see Klaus trust another girl. Caroline reference there.
That's exactly.
Because it was kind of the same thing that I was feeling. He always listened to her. He trusted her. And if she had an opinion on something, he actually would listen and be like, okay, let me weigh out what I should do.
And I will say, I think a lot of people at home would be saying, well, what about Cammie? But I don't feel like he took Cammie's opinion into consideration as much as he really did with Caroline. Like, Caroline's like, don't kill Tyler, or don't do this. He's like, all right, then I won't, because he cares about somebody. And I don't know, with Haley, I just think it's different. So I don't even know what to say other than the fact that long term, I think they really might be heading this way. I really think they do. But I think Jackson would have to die in order for that to happen, because right now I'm so Jaylee.
Jaylee.
You're not really picking a side, Katie.
Because she still likes Elijah.
I do.
Well, what about
Not that I don't like Elijah.
I was... Yeah.
Yeah, you said Elijah. Like,
yeah, I did. But
like as if you were saying Mussolini or something. Elijah. So the phone call we get. I mean, that was interesting. Elijah didn't have much of a reaction to the fact that Haley really, really, really likes Jackson. Did that hurt you at all, or do you think it was strange?
No, I mean...
She rub her back.
I am.
She's consoling me right now.
Okay.
I really did... I didn't have, like, that strong of a feel about that. I still love the Elijah thing. I just think that they're on different paths right now, trying to fix this whole situation with Hope, and he told her to go and do that.
So you don't feel as if that door is closed for good? You feel like it's temporarily closed? Yeah. Interesting. I feel like we closed a chapter there. I don't know if we're going to see it again.
He's over there protecting her child.
That's true, because he's his uncle. Or her uncle.
Yeah,
that's what an uncle does. They don't sleep with the mom. They protect the kid.
Hey, some families. You don't want to get into some family trees.
There's a lot of incest in originals world. I will say that in Vampire Diaries and originals. So family tree. Okay. Anyway, don't give me that face.
It's not to you.
All right. Why chat mistress?
Oh
no, it's not mistress.
Yeah, it's chat mistress.
Chat mistress. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Moonstar Kiss. Nope, sorry. It's moving too fast and I lost.
Good. You guys move it, groove it.
Booby69. Roxy wants to know if you're more Caroline or Colvina.
Oh, I gotta be more Caroline because I've shipped Caroline for so many years. Like, I have shipped Caroline since the second Caroline was a thing to ship, and I love Colvina, but it's just been shorter. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Oh, Okay, fine.
I like that.
All right, so anyway, we've got this love triangle going on here. I don't even know if we can call it a love triangle because Klaus doesn't seem to be actively pining over Haley.
I don't think that it's something in Klaus's mind for this moment. I do get she is his baby mama.
Right.
You are going to protect your baby mama at all costs, and there is a certain bond that no one else is going to understand between the two of you because you share a child together. Right. So you will go to extreme measures to make sure that your child is safe.
Right.
Because if in real life, if your ex is going to be with someone new and you have a child together, you're going to run background checks. You want to know everything about the person your child is about to be around. So there is a difference. I see some shipping of them in a romantic way, but at the same time, I also can't get out of my mind. That's his baby mama. He wants to make sure that his child is safe, so he's going to extreme measures for that.
It's a good point.
That's true.
But the safety of the child is now a question, and let's talk about that in predictions.
Yes.
All right.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV prediction.
So here's what's up. Finn knows. Finn has finally cracked the case. He knows Hope is alive. He knows that Elijah is protecting Hope because he can't find Elijah. So once he finds Elijah, he finds Hope. How are we going to, as Team Klaus Haley, figure out that Finn knows? Is Marcel going to go run and tell? I mean, now Finn's asked for Marcel's help, or not asked for Marcel's help, demanded Marcel's help. Whoa, how is this information going to get back to him? Who's going to spill?
Maybe he'll start getting closer to where to finding them and leaving certain clues where Klaus is like, well, why is Finn all the way over here where it's like half the distance to where they're hiding Hope right now? Maybe it'll be something like that kind of registers in Klaus's head of like, oh, what I think he knows about her.
Here's what I think is going to happen. However he does find Hope, he's going to try to, like, I don't know, go at her or something, or, like, you know, get near her or whatever, and we're going to actually see at that point how strong she is. Even if she's a baby, she's just strong.
Yeah, that's true. What is Finn even going to do with Hope if he finds her, though? Why does he even want her? Obviously...
What he originally set out with his mom to do, kill her. In protection of...
Well, that's not what he set out with his mom. The mom didn't know that Hope was alive, but that's what...
Well, no, because at the finale... Wasn't it them who were kind of causing the whole ruckus to try to kill?
Before it was born, they were going to try to kill it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Maybe they're going to try and finish out that, since they thought that the child was dead and they found out it's alive. Maybe they're like, hey, maybe we should go back to this so that we don't have to deal with Dahlia.
It's just so messed up that they're still doing their mother's work, even though the mom isn't. She now has lost all credibility because she's a vampire. And at some point, we've got to wake Michael and Esther up, right?
Yeah.
And what are they going to say about it? I don't know. Any other predictions?
Does he know about Freya?
Does who know about Freya? Michael? Does he know Freya's alive? I don't think so. I don't think Michael and Dahlia are in cahoots.
Because I really want to see his reaction to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know. There always could be something that would change him for good. Doubt it, but good. All right, guys, predictions on your part. Anything else? Fall next week. What do we see in previews? Just basically everybody hunting to save Hope.
And we know that Finn is trying to get Haley's blood, which might have something to do with how he plans to find Hope.
Yeah.
We see Klaus using Cole.
And trying to get into his mind, and Cole not wanting that to happen.
Because maybe it's going to hurt his mortal body.
What I'm loving about what we're seeing in predictions is we're getting more and more of the originals interacting with each other and having to use each other, which is what this show, I mean, it's called The Originals, it should be all about. That's what we have been living for. So it's really nice. Not that I didn't want to see Cammy in tonight's episode or more of whatever, but these siblings, the sibling relationship, I think that's what really drives the show.
Yeah.
And now Haley's kind of part of that team.
Exactly. Oh, and fun fact, I did not know this. Everyone else might have. I'm the slow one sometimes. But the actress who plays Sheriff Forbes on Vampire Diaries is a writer for the originals.
Yeah, very cool. Very
Did not know that, so I thought I'd share it with the class because I'm probably the last one to find out.
Fun fact for everybody, and at least that's where Sheriff Forbes can go. And on that note, guys, if they want to talk to you throughout the week, and they're dying to keep talking originals. Katie, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Katie E. Campbell. That's Katie with 3 E's, and Instagram at Katie Campbell 13.
I am on both Twitter and Instagram at the Tiona Hobson.
And make sure you guys show her birthday love. Happy birthday again to Tiona.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you for coming in. Okay, guys, if you want to find us, as always, you can find us at AfterBuzz TV, AfterBuzzTV.com, YouTube.com/AfterBuzz TV, on iTunes, on SoundCloud. Make sure you go to all of those, rate, comment, and subscribe. It really helps us out. And we love hearing what you guys have to say. And if you want to find me, you can find me at Roxy Striar. Until next week, same time, same place. Hope to see you live.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those
Like
of the
they
host
were-
only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.